Okay folks, welcome to the strut install. You can see I'm putting these Ranchos on. A lot of videos up online about this, but I thought I'd share because I've run across a couple things. This relates to a 2006 F150. This is the two-wheel drive F150. So a lot of the ones up online there are all four-wheel drive, so it's definitely a little difference going on here. I've already done the driver's side, so I'm into the passenger side. Let me point out a couple differences. So obviously what we're replacing is right here, this coil. So 3 mounting bolts up on top, 15 millimeter to get those off. They come down to the main nut and bolt that hold it on there. So these Ranchos are about 1.75 inches taller, makes the truck get level. So in order to make this work, I discovered doing the one side, you got to loosen this one, pop that off. Obviously the sway arm here's got to come off. The back one here, you can see that. Get that off. That allows that whole assembly here to come down maybe 4 or 5 inches, and you'll be able to get that new one up in there. And you're still going to have to kind of love it in there to get it mounted and get that hole lined. No boot or anything in the way here, so you got to worry about tearing that up. But let me get a couple of these busted off. I'll get it off and I'll show you. All right, so I got most of them off. You see, I got the sway arm off. Look in the back here. Got that one off, right there. Got the nut off of this one. Got the big bolt out, so that thing's pretty well loose now. Just left one up there on the top. You can see that one right there to the left, just holding it up. So I'm gonna have to do a little rat-a-tat-tat and get this one loose. And what that'll do, look here. There you go, loose. Get you that downward motion that I need to get that new one in. Now let me get that off. Okay, you can see I got that clearance there. All I got to do now is go ahead and we'll pop this coil out of here. See if I can hold this, you'll see what I mean. You got a fair amount of movement now. So yeah, still gonna need another set of hands probably to help get that new coil in, but no problem getting the old one out. Okay, so here's the new one. The Rancho we're installing next to the old. You can see it's about 1 inch and 3/4 bigger. Get them lined up. So that's the whole deal about having to loosen up those other fasteners that I said down in here to get a little clearance. Okay, so there's the new strut installed. So a couple pointers here. So there's those 3 mounting bolts. Put the strut in first and just put like 1 or 2 of them up there loose, so you got a little play in it. Since I've got all this stuff disconnected, you're able to get a little downforce on this whole assembly. Force that bottom side in to get that bolt on in. Just to remember, this is the 2006 F150. It's the rear wheel drive. It does have the towing package, so I think it's different than most of the things you see on YouTube. That last back bolt, which you can't even really see, that's it right there. You get that from the engines compartment with an extension coming down. So I've got those torqued up. This bottom one, I haven't put the nut on it yet. That's the very last thing you tighten, and you don't do that until you get weight off of the jack stand. So I'm going to put just a hydraulic floor jack underneath that. Once I get the rest of these things buttoned up and tightened, jack that up so it's simulating the weight of the vehicle, and then you torque that one. It's like 350 foot-pounds. The idea being you don't want to mess up those bushings that are in there until it's seated in the right position. So let me button up these other pieces. One other thing, so this piece here, the one we got to cinch back up, once I get the other couple on there, it'll hold. I'm going to take that bolt off, clean it, Loctite that, and there's a small hex on the end of it because that's going to spin if you try to just use the 15 millimeter on it. You got to hold the one side while you tighten up and cinch it back up. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so it's all installed. Like I said, we had to take the weight of the vehicle, get it right on the strut. So we just put the jack up underneath here and jacked it all the way up, and then just really torqued that big main bolt, put the pipe on it. Says 350 foot-pounds. I don't have a torque, but she's pretty tight. So cleaned up the brakes while we were in here. So what I gotta do is jack it up, put the tire on. I'll show you the height in a second. Okay, they're all installed. So as you can tell, so the truck sits a lot more level. It's still slightly nose down, and I mean slightly. I'll give you the quick dimension here. It came up about, like I say, about an inch and 3/4 or so. So you can see that sitting at about, right about 36 or so. It was, 34 and a little. And the back is still up just a hair, maybe about an inch or so. So there you have it. Two-wheel drive, rear wheel, of course. 2006, the Ranchos. Good luck.